You ever see a judge lean forward with that smug little smile, gavel raised, thinking he's about to lock away another poor kid who looks the part, only to freeze mid-motion when the kid says just 2 words? Yeah, that happened. It happened in a quiet courtroom in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the kind of place where justice depends more on skin tone than facts. And that day, 14-year-old Kareem Wallace stood there, wrists bruised from tight cuffs, jumpsuit hanging loose off his skinny frame, staring up at Judge Clayton Rowe like he was staring down death itself. Everyone thought it was over. Slam dunk case, surveillance footage, eyewitness, black kid in a hoodie. Boom. 10 years in juvie. That's the script. That's how it always goes. But Kareem, he didn't follow the script. Just as Rowe lifted that gavel, Kareem leaned forward, his voice hoarse but clear, and said, "Check my phone. Now let me back up a sec." It was a sweaty July afternoon, one of those southern days where even the pavement feels angry. Kareem had just finished pumping air into a friend's busted bike tire at a corner station. Tall for his age, dark-skinned, skinny, wearing a gray hoodie and a too-big backpack that bounced every time he pedaled. He wasn't running from anything, just heading home, sweat stinging his eyes, tired from the heat. But a block away, someone else was running, real fast, real suspicious. Hood up, duffel bag swinging. That guy, he vanished behind a dumpster. But the cops, they didn't chase shadows. They saw Kareem, stopped mid-pedal, black kid, hoodie, backpack, and just like that, the decision was made. "Hands up now," barked one of the officers. Kareem didn't argue, didn't run, just froze, hands in the air, voice cracking as he stammered, "I didn't do nothing." But nothing never held much weight when your skin was dark and your hoodie wasn't brand new. At the station, they stripped him down, metaphorically and emotionally. They rifled through his backpack like it was trash, found his sketchbook full of BMX designs. Officer Denton, buzz-cut and mean, sneered, "Gang tags?" and tore one out just to watch Kareem flinch. They didn't let him call his mom, didn't check his phone, didn't even ask him where he was going. They just decided. The next day, the courtroom smelled like old wood and sweat. The prosecutor hit play on a grainy surveillance clip, blurry figure sprinting past gas pumps. "There's your suspect," he said, clicking his pen like it was a gun. Judge Rowe didn't even try to hide his disdain, called Kareem boy like it was a curse word. Kareem's mom, Maya Wallace, a nurse who'd taken the day off, sat in the front row, eyes red, clutching a tissue like it could stop the bleeding of her heart. When she whispered, "He's just a kid," the bailiff shushed her like she was out of line. But the case was full of holes, no fingerprints, no bag, just a blurry video and a teenager who fit the wrong story. Enter Lena Hart, Kareem's public defender, young, sharp, and tired of playing defense in a game rigged to lose. She smelled something off, started digging. Within 48 hours, she found Clarence, an old man who was pumping gas that same afternoon. He saw the real robber bolt past, saw Kareem pedal by after, clueless, slow, definitely not running. That was enough for a hearing. The crowd leaned in. Maya held her breath. Kareem smiled for the first time in weeks. But later that night, just when hope felt real, the hammer came down hard. Blue lights lit up their apartment. Maya screamed as officers burst in, bruising her face, hauling Kareem out again. Why? Because new evidence had emerged. Kareem's phone had been tampered with, they said. Suddenly there were text messages proving his guilt. Lena shouted it was impossible. He'd been in custody the whole time. Didn't matter. Clarence didn't show up for the next hearing. Word was someone threatened him with snitch consequences. And just like that, Kareem was back in juvie. Solitary confinement. No light, no hope. The media had a field day. Juvenile criminal mastermind, one outlet called him. They aired a video, clearly fake, where Kareem supposedly confessed. His voice, his face, his words, but edited like a ransom tape. That's when Eli Santiago entered the picture. Former Marine, now a janitor at the courthouse. Quiet guy, sharp eyes. One night while taking out the trash, he caught something. On video. A man in a ski mask dragging Kareem out of his cell. Not officers, not protocol, just vengeance. It was Officer Dale Brewer, suspended but not gone, and he'd had enough of being exposed. He kidnapped Kareem that night, beat him within an inch of his life, dumped him in a safe house, and set it on fire. Yeah, you heard that right. Fire. But Kareem got out, burned, bruised, barely breathing. He made it to a hospital. And Lena? She made it to every news station with Eli's grainy footage. The city exploded. Protesters lined the courthouse steps. Petitions hit 1 million signatures in 2 days. Hashtags flooded timelines. Free Kareem now trended worldwide. And then came the twist no one saw coming. Lena dropped the bomb in court, literally. A drive, recovered from Kareem's original phone. Time-stamped GPS data placing him 2 miles away during the robbery. And the kicker? A recorded conversation. Brewer, drunk and cocky, bragging to his cousin about framing some black kid for fun. Judge Rowe, drenched in sweat, tried to dismiss it as circumstantial. But the gallery wasn't having it. Phones flashed. The live stream soared past 10 million. Lena leaned in, calm but deadly. "Your Honor," she said, "the world's watching." Rowe tried one last trick, claiming Kareem was now tied to a gang, branding him a threat, ordering him back to juvie. The room erupted. Maya sobbed. Lena screamed. Eli punched a wall, but it didn't end there. The protesters stormed the precinct. The governor called for an inquiry. And Dale Brewer? He vanished. Until 3 weeks later when his body was found in a burned-out warehouse, a duffel bag of homemade explosives beside him. Another precinct was bombed. Evidence, gone. Case files, ash. But one backup survived, thanks to Mia Jennings, a courtroom artist who'd been sketching every hearing, every lie, every moment. She'd backed up the footage to a personal drive. That final recording, the dash cam of Brewer's cousin confessing, went viral overnight. And Judge Rowe? He was found in his chambers the next morning, robe soaked in sweat, gavel clutched in his fist, and a resignation letter torn in half on his desk. He didn't go quietly. He blamed Kareem, called it a witch hunt. But the world had seen enough. Kareem walked free 2 weeks later. But he didn't smile, didn't cry. He just stepped outside the courthouse, looked at the cameras and said, "I told y'all, check my phone." That was it. But the story didn't end there. 3 days after his release, federal agents showed up. Not to protect him, not to investigate Brewer, but to announce Kareem was now being reviewed for federal charges related to public incitement. Yeah, that's what they called his truth. The same system that tried to bury him with lies now wanted to bury him with paperwork. Technicalities, PR spin. And Kareem? He wasn't a kid anymore, not after all that. He and his mom disappeared that night. No press, no goodbye, just gone. Some say they crossed into Canada. Others say Lena hid them with help from a whistleblower network. But one thing's for sure, the system didn't break. It bent, shifted, rebranded. And Kareem Wallace, just a kid with a sketchbook and a busted bike, had become the spark that lit the match. You still think justice is blind? Or is it just looking the other way? Let us know what you think. Was Kareem a symbol of resistance or a target marked for life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe truth shouldn't come with a price tag, hit like, subscribe, and share this story. Because someone out there is still waiting to say their 2 words.